How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its excellent Essential Pick sale, and we've done a lot of videos looking at games under 10, under 5, but now we're going to be looking at deals under 20, so that gives us a little bit more headroom in terms of what games I can recommend in this video. Let's get right into it, and let's start things off with Resident Evil Village, 60% off for $15.99. Nice to see this game get cheaper and cheaper. RE Village is fantastic. It's a really well done survival horror game, and built upon Resident Evil Biohazard quite well. You know, with Resident Evil titles, they're not super lengthy, but Village is one that, when it came out, like, I really enjoyed this game, and I completed it multiple times right off the bat. I kind of usually do that with Resident Evil games. Like, I feel like Resident Evil is one franchise that warrants multiple playthroughs right away, but the game is great. Strongly recommended, and it'll be very interesting to see where Capcom goes with Resident Evil from here. If you do have PSVR 2, obviously you should play this with VR 2. At least try it out with that. And there is a gold edition available. Unfortunately, that is not on sale right now. That does include some DLC and some other bonuses, but yeah, $15.99 for the base game is great. Next up, we have Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel, and we'll give a shout to Cold Steel 2. Look, obviously, you want to play these games sequentially, and even beyond that, I often talk about how a lot of people recommend you to play Legend of Heroes Trails from the Sky trilogy, and then work your way into the Crossbell arc, and then get to Trails of Cold Steel. I personally think it's fine to play Cold Steel without playing the other arcs. Is it beneficial to play the other arcs? Absolutely, but the thing is, those games were all designed for the PSP, so they are very dated in terms of presentation, and the Sky trilogy isn't even available on PlayStation platforms, so really, your options are fairly limited. Now, if you have a PC, if you have, like, a Vita or something, like, yo, you can get the Sky trilogy on there, but yeah, there's a lot of opinions. I think if you play with Cold Steel, I'm not gonna hold it against you, but some hardcore Legend of Heroes fans will hold me at gunpoint for that opinion. But nonetheless, $19.99 is great. It should be known that Cold Steel 1 is kind of a set-the-table kind of game for the entirety of the Cold Steel arc, but it's still very good in the second half of this game, and the ending is so crazy. It's just really well done, and Cold Steel 2, like, right off the rip is a banger from start to finish, so I would recommend both games, but don't play Cold Steel 2 without playing Cold Steel 1, obviously. Next up, we have Sifu, the Premium Edition. It is 60% off for $19.99. Solid deal on Sifu. The Premium Edition isn't anything to write home about. You get the digital original soundtrack, the official digital art book, the photo mode cinematic pack, and the deluxe exclusive outfits. You know, nothing that consequential, but the regular edition is not on sale. Sifu's a really solid game by Slow Clap, the same studio that brought Absolver, and Absolver was an okay game, but Sifu really took the martial arts combat style and made it a high-quality game. Yes, is it very challenging? You're damn right it is. This is a game that damn near made me break my controller at times. It's like this and Ghost Runner that I'll go back to. There's a lot of games that made me almost break my controller. Super Meat Boy is another one of them, but nonetheless, Sifu, $19.99. If you want a challenging experience, is a pretty good one, and I think at this price point, it's well worth it. Next up, we have the Assassin's Creed Ezio collection. I mean, I think everybody's played the Ezio trilogy at this point, AC2, Brotherhood, Revelations, but maybe you played it on the PlayStation 3, and you don't have the Ezio collection. This is a great way to revisit the games, given that we don't have backwards compatibility on PlayStation. The Ezio collection is a solid shout. Like, AC2 is still a phenomenal game. Brotherhood's really good, albeit really easy. Like, Revelations, I'm not as crazy about, but it's still a fairly decent game. You know, having Altair in there also added another layer to it. But yeah, 2 and Brotherhood are classics in my opinion, and Revelations is still pretty damn good. Next up, we have Assassin's Creed Origins Gold Edition. I primarily recommend these games, like, not because of my own love for these titles, but I know that, my opinion aside, a lot of people are going to find a lot of value out of the newer style Assassin's Creed games, and it's not like I hated Origins as a game. I thought it was fairly decent. You know, still had that grindy gameplay aspect, and the deluxe pack, the Gold Edition will give you the deluxe pass and the season pass. The deluxe pack has a mission and the Desert Cobra pack, and then the season pass includes a bunch of DLC content, the Hidden Ones DLC, the Curse of the Pharaoh DLCs, the Roman pack, the Horus pack, and free Helix credit pack as well. And it runs fairly well on the PS5 now, so definitely for $19.99, solid shout there. Next up, we have Persona 4 Golden, 35% off for $12.99. P3P Persona 3 Portable is also on sale, but let's be real, most of you guys are going to play Persona 3 via Persona 3 Reload. Persona 4 Golden, on the other hand, is the premier Persona 4 version. This was originally released on the PS Vita, and legit for a lot of people, this was the system seller for the PS Vita. I know that this is a game that everybody loved, and some people will go as far as to say that Persona 4 is better than Persona 5. I don't know if I agree with that, but Persona 4 is a damn good game. Great story, great cast of characters. The soundtrack is awesome. I'll Face Myself is like one of the best songs of all time. But yeah, and Heartbreak. I know I'm kind of basic with my Persona 4 soundtrack preferences, but $13 for P4G. Excellent deal, strong recommendation, definitely. Like, this is like a bargain for the amount of content that you get. Next up, we have Crysis 2 Remastered, 60% off for $11.99. I loved Crysis 2. Like, I thought this was the best game in the Crysis franchise, which I know a lot of people are partial towards the original, but Crysis 2's more linear focus, I think, helped the game, and I still thought it was a fantastic game, and visually, it still holds up to this day, man. Would be nice if it got, like, an even bigger upgrade or something like that. I know that a Crysis 4 is in development. Hopefully, that comes out before 2030, but nevertheless, Crysis 2 Remastered for $11.99, great deal there. Next up, we have KLONOA Phantasy Reverie series, $14.79 on this, 63% off. These are great platformers that, unfortunately, KLONOA as a franchise really doesn't get a lot of love, given the fact that for whatever reason, like, commercially, these games just haven't clicked, and Phantasy Reverie series didn't seem to click commercially either, although, like, the actual collection is great. Getting KLONOA 1 and 2, definitely a solid pickup, especially at sub $15. Games aren't super challenging or anything like that, but they're worthwhile playthroughs, and definitely give them a look if you're looking for some quality platformers. Next up, we have Odin Sphere Leifthrasir, 75% off for $14.99. Vanillaware is a studio that I constantly go to bat for, constantly talk up all their games, and Odin Sphere was really their breakout project. It's a great action RPG, this 2D style to it, and they're the first of their kind that really put Vanillaware on the map. The art style is obviously tremendous. Aesthetically, the game's great. Soundtrack is solid. $15 for the game is great. Is available on Plus Extra, but definitely worthwhile. And this is a game I feel like most of you would want to have in your library. Also on PlayStation Plus Extra, Judgment, 65% off for $14. Judgment is a phenomenal game, and honestly, I don't think it's crazy if you think that Judgment is RGG's best outing. This game is so good from a storytelling standpoint. The main character is great. A lot of twists and turns, soundtrack is solid, and that gameplay, the beat-em-up action gameplay, works really well. And the main theme song is great as well. I mean, who can go wrong with that? Judgment also available on Plus Extra, but for $14, man. That is damn near highway robbery for that price. Next up, couple of Ys titles. Let's go with Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana, 55% off for $18. That is the Ys game that released on PS4 and PS Vita. This is the Ys game that released on PS4 and PS Vita. Pretty damn good game. I mean, it's Ys true, a good mystery storyline in there as well. Action gameplay is really good. Soundtrack is solid. I wish that the only thing that Ys is missing, I think some quality of life improvements from a design standpoint would help, but you know, overall, Ys 8 is great and really a good way to get into the game. And then there's also Memories of Celceta, 50% off for $14.99. This one was released only on Vita and then later ported to the PS4. So obviously, technically, I mean, Ys is never gonna blow you away from a technical standpoint, but this is definitely a Vita game. Memories of Celceta is quite a good one, and Memories of Celceta is actually a remake, I believe, of an older Ys title as well. But nevertheless, a quality Ys game, solid action gameplay. Once again, all of the makings of a quality Ys title. Like, Ys, much like Tales, is a super consistent franchise, and Memories of Celceta is really no different. Next up, Scarlet Nexus, 80% off for $11.99. I feel like I beat the drum of Scarlet Nexus and its quality level quite a lot, just because I really enjoyed this game. I thought the action combat system was great. I thought the characters had, a decent bit of depth to it. I get it that the storytelling, from the standpoint of it plays out a lot like a visual novel in terms of the presentation. Yeah, that might be a turnoff to some people, but overall, the strengths of this game, I think, are really strong. Worthwhile to go through the game twice, especially with the two playable main characters, Yuito and Kasane. Really hope that this game gets, like, a sequel or another entry, some sort. I think this is something that can turn into a really high-quality JRPG franchise for Bandai Namco, and I don't think it's a stretch in saying that. The thing is, as far as Bandai Namco JRPGs go, like, Scarlet Nexus was released in June of 21, and then Tales of Arise came out in September of 21, and obviously Tales of Arise, like, really took a lot of the attention, but there's been talk and rumblings about a potential Scarlet Nexus, like, follow-up, or, this turning into a franchise, and I believe the director of the game talked about something of making the next game even darker, and that would be really cool to see. I don't know if that's ever going to come to fruition. Hopefully it does, because I quite enjoyed Scarlet Nexus. And lastly, Borderlands Legendary Collection, 60% off for $19.99. I mean, Borderlands is one of those franchises that, again, I always go to bat for. Outside of Borderlands 3 and Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, of course, it used to be a franchise that I really, really loved, but this collection encompasses the games that I did love. Borderlands 1 Remastered, Borderlands 2, the pre-sequel, the game's respective DLCs. What that means is you get an absurd amount of content for your dollar, and I've always also been of the mindset that Borderlands, yes, it's a great co-op experience, but you can also play the game solo, and they're a good time that way as well. $19.99 for all that content is a bargain, so certainly check that out. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals as a part of this Essential Pick sale. Check them out. Links in the description box below, but that'll do it for me. Leave all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.